What is up, YouTube? It's Nick back with another video, and today I'll be changing it up and talking about designers. So today's designer that I'll be talking about is Christian Poell. A little history about him, as well as a couple pieces that I own by him. So hopping right into the history, Carell was born in 1966 in Linz, Austria. He was born into a family of leather makers. His father, grandfather, and uncle were all in the leather making business. So at a very young age, Carell was exposed to a lot of popular leather making techniques and had a lot of interest in leather making. So after graduating from high school, he decided to attend the Senior Academy of Commerce and Fashion Design in Graz, Austria. While he was there, he was studying. He had two choices of where he wanted to take his career. He could go down his family's footsteps in leather making, or he could learn more of the tailoring side. And so when he came to those crossroads, he decided to change schools, and he went to school in Vienna, where he went to a tailoring school. He went to school in Vienna, learned tailoring, but after attending for a while, he decided that Vienna wasn't the place that he needed to have a tailoring degree to be able to do tailoring. He decided that he wanted to do one last change in his academic career, and he actually moved all the way to Milan and attended the Domus Academy, where he graduated from Domus with a master's in fashion design. While he was there, he met Sergio Simone, which became his business partner, and in 1995, he opened up his brand under his name, Christian Poell. So after graduating, he came out with a lot of collections, started to make his name as a designer in the avant-garde world. But let's fast forward to one of his most famous shows that he's known for, which was in 2004, Mainstream Downstream. So this show took place in Milan down at the river. Carell invited all of the public, and they came down to attend his show. But this was not any typical fashion show. There was no catwalk and no models walking down the runway. But instead, his models were actually dressed in his garments and his shoes and his boots, and were actually floating down the river. And this came to a surprise for the public. After the show, there was a mixed bag of emotions. A lot of people really enjoyed the show, and a lot of the attendees felt disgusted by what Carell did. But that's always been Carell. He really designs for himself, and he has his own voice. And that was kind of his stand of saying, mainstream only is one direction, without flowing in one direction. And that was his metaphor with the show, with having models flowing down the river in one direction. So that's the really cool thing about Carell, is he really just follows his voice. He designs for himself, and if you like his pieces, you do. If you don't, you don't. And he, at the end of the day, he's kind of on his own schedule, and that's the really unique thing about him as a designer. He doesn't follow the same fashion week schedule as a lot of these big designers. He releases products when he wants to, and he makes as much as he wants to. And that's what I think is really cool about him. He kind of is anti-fashion in a way, where he's on his own schedule and making the things that he wants to at the end of the day. So that's a little bit about Christian Poell, but I do want to hop into a couple of pieces that I own by him and talk about those a little bit. So last summer, I was able to go to Europe for the first time and visit Darklands, Berlin. One of my favorite stores. I've always dreamed to go in there. And when I went there, I got my first CCP piece, which is the classic folded derby. The really cool thing about this piece is the upper is actually entirely made out of one piece of leather. This is very unique and a very artisan process that Corel is really known for. You know, most boots or shoes, they're made out of multiple different pieces of fabric that compose the upper, but instead this derby is actually made out of one piece of leather, and this is made out of Cordovian leather, and then on the inside is a bison leather sole, and then just regular calf leather for the lining. But this is, you know, I've dreamed to own these. Kind of think they look kind of like the sorting hat from Harry Potter with this big fold, but that's the cool thing about these. They're very unique. They already look like they've been worn, and I think they're beautiful. The leather on these is, you know, absolutely gorgeous. Probably the, you know, highest quality leather I've seen on a pair of boots or shoes. And yeah, fell in love with his designs and wanted to get a piece. So this was my first piece that I got from. As you can see, you know, on the back, that is where he actually sewed the one upper together, and then you have the big fold, which is what these are named after. So that's that first piece, really cool, in color 10, which is black. And yeah, really happy to own these. And then the last piece by him that I recently picked up was the classic Tornado boot. Really happy to own these as well. And these are pretty unique. I do see some of the laser cut Tornadoes out there, but hard to find them. So this is the laser cut Tornado in a bison leather, in color 10 as well. And, you know, the one really unique part about the Tornado is what it's really known for, which is this spiral two-way zip that starts on the side of the boot and then goes all the way to the back. But, you know, really beautiful shoe. Like I said, bison laser cut for the upper, and then on the inside it has a kangaroo lining, and then bison leather sole. But yeah, so a little close-up detail. These are, you know, one of my favorite, and I'm so excited to just break these in and see, you know, how they age. I think they're going to be really beautiful, and I'm just really excited to just wear them and thrash them and, you know, give them some character. But I hope you guys liked that video. Let me know if you want me to talk about any other designers that I'm really interested in. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and let me know what you want to hear next. Thinking about doing a styling video. If that interests you, let me know. And we'll get rocking and rolling. So hope you guys stay safe, and peace.